Your dog is talking to you right now through dog body language so precise, intricately layered, and scientifically fascinating that most owners walk right past it every single day without realizing what they are missing. This is dog behavior most people never learn to read. Here is the thing that should stop you in your tracks. Researchers who have spent entire careers studying canine communication and dog behavior have found that every single signal a dog sends carries meaning, from the tip of their tail to the position of their ears, from the way they hold their body to the direction of their gaze. If you do not know how to read dog body language, you are essentially living with someone who is constantly trying to speak to you in a language you never learned. That changes today. By the end of this video, you will understand your dog's behavior in a way that most owners never do. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Let us start with the most misunderstood signal in dog body language: the tail. Almost everyone knows that a wagging tail means a happy dog. That turns out to be only part of the story. Scientists discovered something remarkable about tail behavior that overturned the whole assumption. What matters most is which direction the wag leans, a pattern scientists call lateralization. When a dog feels good, when they see someone they love or encounter something exciting, their tail wag shifts to the right side. More movement, more emphasis on the right. When a dog feels uncertain, uncomfortable, or is processing a new situation that puts them on alert, that same wag shifts toward the left. Here is the extraordinary part. Other dogs can detect this difference and respond to it automatically. Studies have shown that when dogs were shown footage of other dogs with right-leaning wags, they stayed calm. When the wag shifted left, their heart rates went up. Their bodies responded to the emotional signal without any conscious analysis. Your dog has an entire vocabulary in that tail alone, and they have been speaking it every single day, whether you understood it or not. But the tail tells you even more than just emotional direction. The height at which your dog carries their tail while wagging matters enormously. A tail held high and moving with rapid energy communicates confidence and excitement. That is a dog who feels secure and engaged. A tail tucked low and moving in slow, careful arcs tells a completely different story. That dog is signaling appeasement or submission. They are communicating that they are not a threat. They are asking for gentleness. So the next time your dog wags at you, pay attention to the full picture, where the movement emphasizes how high the tail sits, how fast it moves. All of that together is a complete sentence in a language that predates any human word. Now, let us move up the body, because your dog's ears are one of the most expressive tools in canine body language. Dogs have a remarkable degree of muscular control over their ears compared to humans, and they use that control constantly. Ears that sit forward and slightly erect signal alertness and engagement. Your dog has noticed something and they are actively processing it. This is focus. Ears that pin back flat against the skull are a much more emotionally loaded signal. Depending on what the rest of the body is doing, this can indicate fear, anxiety, or extreme submission. But there is a middle position that many owners miss entirely. When your dog's ears pull back just slightly, not pinned tight, but gently relaxed backward, and the rest of their body is loose and soft, that is often a greeting signal. That is a dog telling you they mean no harm. They are happy to see you. Everything in this moment feels safe. It is subtle, but once you know it, you will recognize it immediately. Let us talk about the eyes, because what your dog does with their gaze is where things get genuinely fascinating. Direct, hard, unblinking eye contact from a dog that is stiff and still reads as a challenge, a dog asserting something or communicating potential conflict. Set that beside the soft, relaxed gaze your dog offers when they are resting near you or simply watching you move around the room. That soft gaze, particularly when it comes with a slight relaxation of the muscles around the eyes, is something researchers have connected to what's known as the oxytocin bonding loop, the same hormone system involved in the bond between a parent and an infant. When a dog offers you a slow blink along with that soft gaze, they are deliberately signaling safety, telling you there is no tension here. Compare that to the hard stare, and you can feel the difference even without knowing the science. Here is where it gets stranger, because your dog's eyes are running the same lateralized system as their tail, just pointed at your face instead of another dog's. Researchers studying how dogs read human expressions found that dogs shift their gaze left first, specifically when they are reading an upset or blank human face. That left gaze bias disappears completely the moment the face in front of them looks happy. Scientists call the underlying mechanism hemispheric lateralization, the same right hemisphere pathway behind the left-leaning tail wag from earlier in this video, just running through a different part of the body. Your dog is not only broadcasting emotion through their tail, they're scanning your face through the same internal wiring. There's also a signal veterinary behaviorists call whale eye, and it is one of the most important stress signals you can learn to recognize. Whale eye is when a dog turns their head slightly away, but keeps their eyes trained on something, revealing the white of the eye on one side. That exposed white crescent is a stress indicator. It tells you the dog is uncomfortable with what is happening near them, and they are tracking it carefully while trying not to engage directly. You see this often when a dog is being hugged by a stranger in crowded environments, or in any moment where they want to move away but feel like they cannot. Recognizing whale eye can genuinely prevent problems because it is one of the earliest visible indicators that a dog is reaching the edge of their comfort zone. Here is one almost nobody knows to look for, and it has nothing to do with the tail, the ears, or the eyes. Whether your dog favors one paw over the other, the same way a person is left-handed or right-handed, turns out to predict something about their temperament. Researchers call this motor laterality, or paw preference, and they found that dogs with no clear paw preference at all were significantly more reactive to thunderstorms and fireworks than dogs who clearly favored one paw. It is not the strong preference that signals trouble. It is the absence of one. A dog whose brain has not settled into a dominant side reacts to sudden noise with more fear, a pattern researchers have also observed in anxious humans with weak hand dominance. Now let us cover body posture as a whole, because the way your dog holds their entire body is a communication system that runs constantly in the background. A dog with their weight shifted forward, muscles tense, head up, and gaze fixed is projecting. They are moving energy outward. Whether that is excitement or something more serious depends on the other signals present, but forward-loaded body weight almost always means the dog is engaged with something and prepared to act. A dog with their weight shifted back, body slightly crouched, tail lower, is doing the opposite. They are pulling their energy inward. This posture signals uncertainty or deference. It is a dog trying to take up less space, which in dog communication is a clear message about how they are feeling in that moment. Raised hackles get treated like a single warning sign, and that is a mistake worth correcting. Veterinarians call that reflex piloerection, and the pattern of where the fur actually stands up tells you which emotional state you are looking at. A patch raised only across the shoulders, never reaching more than a third of the way down the back, points to a dog who is uncertain or afraid. A single thin line running unbroken from the shoulders all the way to the base of the tail points to a far more confident dog, and that confidence correlates with a real chance of aggression. And if the hackles rise at the shoulders and again at the base of the tail, with a gap of flat fur in between, that is a dog caught in genuine conflict, unsure which way this is going to go. Same physical reflex. 3 completely different messages, depending on exactly where it shows up on the body. Then there is the full body wiggle, which most dog owners love and very few fully appreciate. When your dog's whole back end sways along with their tail and their body seems almost unable to contain itself, that is what behaviorists sometimes call uninhibited joy. A dog who feels so safe and so happy in that moment that every part of their body is broadcasting it simultaneously. Pure, unfiltered positive emotion expressed through every muscle they have. The play bow deserves its own moment because it is one of the clearest and most deliberate signals in the entire canine communication system. Front legs stretched forward and flat on the ground, rear end up, tail usually wagging. This is an unambiguous invitation. Ethologists call this kind of signal metacommunicative, a signal whose entire job is to change the meaning of everything that happens right after it. Your dog is telling another dog, or telling you that whatever happens next is play, not conflict. Researchers studying canine behavior have found that dogs use the play bow as a kind of reset signal. If rough play starts to feel tense, a dog will often throw in a play bow as if to say, "We are still playing. This is still fun. No real stakes here." It is sophisticated social communication wrapped in what looks like an adorable stretch. Let us talk about what canine behaviorists call calming signals, because this is where your understanding of your dog can shift the most practically. Dogs use a series of subtle behaviors specifically to reduce tension in social situations, both their own tension and tension in the beings around them. Yawning when they are not tired. Licking their own nose or lips when there is no food present. Turning their head or body slightly away when approached, moving slowly and deliberately when they might otherwise move quickly. Sniffing the ground in the middle of an interaction with another dog or a person. All of these are intentional communication, a way of saying, "I am not a threat, please let things stay calm." When you see your dog do any of these things, particularly in a situation that involves some pressure or uncertainty, they are actively managing the social environment. And when you learn to use some of these signals back, turning your own body slightly sideways when approaching an anxious dog, or yawning slowly when you want them to relax, you are speaking their language directly. Two more signals round this out, and both are easy to miss because they do not look like stress responses at first glance. Contagious yawning is one of them. Some studies have found dogs yawn more often when their own owner yawns than when a stranger does, which researchers have floated as a possible marker of empathy, though other studies have failed to find the same effect, so treat that one as an open question rather than a settled fact. The other is the full body shake, the one you assume only happens when your dog is wet. Ethologists call this a displacement behavior, a stress release action that appears out of context, disconnected from what it normally accomplishes. Researchers studying stress in dogs have repeatedly observed dogs shaking dry immediately after a tense moment ends. A vet exam, an anxious greeting, a stressful training session, functioning as an emotional reset button between one state and the next. One of the most powerful body language signals your dog sends involves their overall muscle tension, and it is one that new owners often overlook entirely because it requires looking at the whole picture rather than one specific part. A relaxed dog has a loose, almost floppy quality to their movement. Their facial muscles are soft. Their mouth may be slightly open, tongue loose. Their eyes are not tight or squinting. Their weight distributes evenly. Contrast that with a stressed dog, where everything tightens. The mouth closes. The forehead wrinkles. The eyes narrow or go very wide. The body moves with less fluid ease. Learning to read overall muscle tension as a baseline measure is probably the single most useful skill for understanding dog behavior that you can develop, because it lets you assess your dog's emotional state before you even start reading individual signals. Here is something that will reframe how you think about dog psychology altogether. Dogs evolved alongside humans for somewhere around 15,000 years, And over that extraordinary stretch of time, they developed specific abilities to communicate with us, to read us, and to be read by us. Researchers studying canine cognition have found that dogs can read human social cues in ways that even our closest primate relatives cannot match. They follow a pointed finger. They notice the smallest shift in your gaze. And they read human emotional expressions in ways that suggest a deeply co-evolved communication system running in both directions. Your dog is watching your face, your posture, your body tension, and your movement, reading all of it simultaneously. The communication is always happening both ways. Which brings us to something important. The more fluent you become in your dog's body language, the richer the relationship gets. Partly because you understand them better, but even more because your dog picks up on the fact that you are paying attention, that you are responding to what they are communicating rather than just reacting to the loudest behaviors. Dogs are extraordinarily perceptive, and they notice when the human in front of them is truly present. That attentiveness changes the relationship in ways that go beyond training or commands. It becomes a real two-way conversation between two species who spent 15,000 years learning how to understand each other. So the next time your dog settles near you and holds that soft, relaxed gaze, or drops into a play bow out of nowhere, or yawns slowly during a moment that feels tense, understand the dog body language in front of you. They are talking to you in a language they have been speaking their entire lives, a language evolution built specifically so that you could learn it. The only question has ever been whether you were listening. Now you are. If this video changed how you see your dog, share it with someone who loves their dog as much as you do. And hit subscribe, because we go this deep on animal science every single week. Your dog has more to tell you, and we are just getting started.